be very afraid.
Peace to the family. This is your favorite mystical brothers of all time. It is the Divine Masculine Hour. It is the spiritual man in the building. It is your favorites. It's the baby mama's world renowned lover boys, Prime Harmonic, Jeff Elijah, Sacred Serpent, and yours truly, the Hood Mystic, as we bring to you another episode of Chakra Nova. This is episode 13. And all we're trying to do is keep the conversation active in reference to activating and stabilizing and maintaining the energies of the chakras. It's real simple to talk about the chakras here and there, but what I'm trying to do with these fellas is keep a constant conversation going. So therefore, you can't just say we talked about something and ran away. Nope, we here talking about chakras and having thought-provoking questions in reference to the chakra energy. Before we get started, please hit up my man Sacred. His Instagram is Sacred Serpent _823. If you don't mind, Sacred, can you put it in the chat so I could just copy and paste it, and then I'll just put it in the banner so people can hit you up on IG to request the Zoom link so you could be a part of the discussion. We're not trying to dominate the discussion. We're trying to create balance, the origin of balance. That is the name of this episode of Chakra Nova, and this is what we're attempting to bring forth with our questions. And of course, it's no fun if it's a bunch of hard legs having a big old sausage fest and things of that nature in reference to the conversation that we want to have. We want to throw in some feminine energy, so please hit up Sacred Serpent. His IG will be in the chat once he types it in there, but you know he typed with one finger at a time, so you gotta give him a second.
I got 5 thumbs.
You got 5 thumbs.
Be all rusty knees.
Yeah, you're gonna call him Tantric Serpent. So before that, with all of that said, fellas, please introduce yourself. And as we bring people onto the platform or the panel to discuss these questions, embellish on yourselves, pat yourself on the back, pour it on thick. These things that black men don't usually get a chance to do, I'm empowering you and instilling in you to, tell us, your purpose in life, Give us that real to real of, I just want it all today. You feel me? No, sir. But, no, really speak from the heart instead of just referencing some old, hey, my name is Jeff. Hey, my name is Prime. Hey, my name is Sacred. No. Who the fuck are you? What the fuck you about? You know what I'm saying? I was talking to my wife today. Like, fuck all of this shit. Let's start speaking from the heart.
You was just talking to her today.
I was just talking to her today. It's so amazing, right? I know it's so crazy to even think of that, a man talking to his wife. But I digress. I'm talking to y'all today, and y'all talking to the world, the little pocket of the world that's tuned in and tapped into the frequency in the present, and we thank you.
Yeah. I'll go first, man. Prime Harmonic. I also go by Will. I am a martial artist, internal and external martial arts. I am a mechanical engineer. I have a doctorate and a master's in mechanical engineering and a master's in engineering acoustics. And my specialty is vibration. So I'm all about sound and how things move in the universe. And I basically have attempted to combine all of that in my life and my teachings that I've learned from other people. Now I'm at a point where, because I also study metaphysics and I'm interested in developing the human spirit, now working with these brothers to put out the Chakra Nova series. My goal, my life purpose, as you say, Hood. God, that was a rough question.
Keep it a buck.
Say, all right, one of my life purposes, because I know as soon as I finish saying this, I'm gonna think of something. But is to teach people that the biomechanics of spirituality is real. Like, there is a such thing as spiritual energy. there is a way for you to manipulate it. There is a way for you to enhance it. There is a way for you to degrade it if you ain't careful. And you can use it to open up the energy centers of your body or your chakras and develop your psychic abilities. And by psychic, I don't mean you'll be reading a crystal ball telling Aunt Nene when her lover's going to come.
Or
by
maybe,
psychic,
possible.
or maybe, right. But I mean, like, you know, on a higher level, right? Like, what does your day have in store for you? How to really interpret that dream you had. When somebody's coming up and talking to you, being able to trust your feelings because you know it resonates with certain energy centers, you know, all of that is real, and all of it can be attained when we, you know, give our chakras space to bloom and really pay attention to our meditation and our energy work. And that's what I'm about. I would say I'm the, I don't know, the martial artist of the bunch, right? We, you know, shoot.
I ain't about to fight nobody. I'm gonna just say that. So.
Can't hear you good.
I ain't about to fight nobody. I'm gonna just say that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give you Ashe and peace.
I know enough spiritual.
I said internal martial art. You got to learn how to move the energy on the inside. That's all. That's all.
I get my old goon to the situation, get some rusty nails and things of that nature. I fight a whole different type of way.
For some reason,
but I digress.
The Rusty Nails since the production meeting. I think Rusty Nails may be the new name of the show.
I think we got a change of it from Chakra Nova to the Rusty Nail podcast.
Yeah, but they don't do no good if they ain't stuck through a bat. I'm just
saying. or a beef tongue or a cow tongue. But I digress.
See, that niggas got too much. Your brains is just too big for this.
It's spiritual energy time, baby. What you mean? We got to tell the people, you better get you some rusty nails and stop complaining. What?
That's right, man.
Y'all be complaining too much for me. And y'all be going to jail too much. So to avoid going to jail, to avoid complaining, get you a couple rusty nails and drive them up into some beef tongue.
Right from the door, like you triggered right away. Like
I don't even know. I don't know.
All right, go ahead, Jeff.
It's the wine. Go ahead.
Wine.
Y'all gave me fine.
Wine.
I don't know what that means.
I fight in the air.
Oh
like
Lord,
prison.
we got to teach Jeff about dirty wine, man. We got to teach that tonight.
Oh, I mean, I know what that is.
Dirty wine? Oh goodness gracious!
See,
yeah.
She always speaks through.
Jeff out here. Jeff. Some people call me Elijah. Jeff Elijah. All that. Elijah Green is the business. I am just, the young guy out here trying to do my part in spreading the message as best I can. This is just spiritual talk from a man's perspective, being spiritual but practical at the same time. I come up here and I say, like, I'm a cannabis connoisseur, cannabis consultant all the time. But like, look at me just as a plugged-in individual, just a source of things, but starting from my source, doing the right things, like I said, business is Elijah Green. Follow me on Instagram at Elijah Green 144 to check out my menu and then what I'm smoking on a daily basis. Elijah-green.com. And then I just wanted to give a shout out to my guy Woo, who I met through this podcast, who was here. Just wanted to say hi to him.
Peace.
What is y'all brother's life purpose, man? I'm serious about that, man. What is y'all purpose out here in these streets? Because y'all out here bagging and tagging them. Is that the purpose, or are we doing more than that?
Yeah, man. I mean, a lot of different purposes, but like the real purpose is like to get like, kind of like, I guess like the young indigenous, the young black man's artistry and experiences out there. Like my man Woo, he's an artist. He makes music and things like that.
Dope.
What's your Instagram?
Woo Got It Official.
Yeah, Woo Got It Official. Check him out for sure. He has music coming out. He's here too. I'm connecting him with some people I know in the area. To put some things together. Check me out too. We just doing a lot of different things. I got I got different product for sale. Check out my apparel through the website, or just reach out to me through Instagram. Just got a new batch of caps out. So anybody interested, let me know for sure. And do a lot of different things. So yeah, just reach out on Instagram, website, all that. Yeah, and again, just thank you for the space. I appreciate the space. Yeah. Thankful just to be able to for everything.
That was what's up. Shout out to Jeff and the new band member. I got bars, nigga. I got bars. Anyway, Sacred Serpent 823 on Instagram, IG. Hit me up. I will bring anybody into the chat, preferably female, because we do have 4 dominant masculine energies up here. So we want some females to be on this panel, just for the simple fact that we don't want this to be generated and pushed in one direction. We don't want you guys to feel like this is just a masculine show, even though we exude extreme amounts of masculinity. Like, we are embraced with our divine feminine at the same time. So I would really like if a couple of women would like to come on the panel. No cap, no trigger, maybe a trigger or two. But outside of that, my name is Sacred Serpent. I am the resident occult psychologist, or so I'd like to say. Your translator, your communicator. Just started Serpent's Lair last week. It was a nice jump off for something that's going to be extremely beautiful coming down the pike. So please just be patient with your boy, because your boy is really trying to bring it through for you. And my stuff is just different. Like, I'm not special, I'm just different. Outside of that, purpose. Well, number one, my purpose is to be a servant. And it's for me to serve the people. It's for me to serve people in my life. It's for me to serve my young gods, for me to serve the big gods. Like this, I'm a servant, and I am 110,000% happy with being a servant. I realize that my position is not about me, but about what I bring to it. And I'm not just going to be one of those people who's just going to accumulate a bunch of things within my being and not bring it out of me, because I'm not trying to kill myself by stuff that I need to be bringing out to the people. So my purpose is to serve. My purpose is to be there for the people. That, in and of itself, is the purpose that I serve. And I serve that wholeheartedly. And I love to serve delicious, but that's another story. I really appreciate the space, and I really appreciate each and every single one of you to keep coming out and participating, and giving us this opportunity to give you guys something different. Outside of that, I can't stand none of these people on this panel. I love everybody in the chat. Peace to Mama Mystic, and what's up to my young gods over there, the young mystic gods, because I can't stand none of these. I'm done.
Wholeness, peace, love, higher vibrations and frequencies to the collective out there in the planet, in the solar space. We're just going to have a dialogue in reference to the chakras without talking about the chakras directly. We have 4 questions related to each chakra and how these things may show up. Now, how you answer these questions, how you think about these questions is mainly important in reference to how active or how inactive your chakra is. And sometimes you're not always in a relationship with people more than you're always in a relationship with self. So the first question is going to be related to the root chakra, and like we said, we want to bring women onto the panel so we can get more of a balance of this actual thought. We want to flesh this thought out, give different variations and variations on the theme of security, of relationships, because what you may think is secure might be a whole person's X factor into get the fuck away from me, I can't stand that energy, where you're just thinking I was just trying to be secure in a relationship, and to another person you're just being clingy. So guys, What makes you secure in a relationship with a young lady? What can a woman do to make you secure within the relationship? If she's in her phone, if she's texting Tom, Dick, and Harry, no pun intended. Tom has a hairy dick, but I digress.
I was going to change the order. I
digress.
Tom, Harry. Okay.
She's in her phone. She's on IG. She's killing it on the stories. She's killing it on the post. She's going viral every time she shakes her ass. And then she wants to kick it with you on the one-on-one. Does that make you secure or insecure? Or are you just insecure because you can't handle a woman? You can't handle a tatalicious. You think you want a tatalicious, but now she got the clout and now you insecure. So in this life, in this game, throughout y'all journeys, what have you seen that made you secure or insecure in a relationship?
Can I take this first?
Yes.
Okay. So first of all, security for me is the beginning is always going to be chakra work, root chakra work, making sure I'm grounded. And I'm not saying that because I'm trying to shamelessly plug the book. I'm already going to plug the book. What I'm saying is I believe in, I know that, my grounding work starts with my security within myself. So before I even get to an aspect of a relationship or an understanding within a relationship with a particular person, if my chakras, if my groundwork isn't up to par, if it isn't up to snuff, there's nothing that she could possibly give me that's going to make me secure. There's nothing that a woman can give me that's going to make me secure. That's number one. Because if I'm not secure within myself, that woman is only an add-on. She is only an expansion. She is not the end-all be-all. She can't be. Because she has her own thing. So my security comes from my grounding first. Now, my insecurity in the past has come from not being able to have a conversation with a woman and ask her, why are you always on the phone? Why do you suddenly end the conversation when I enter the room? Why is it that I never hear you have real conversations with your girlfriends? Like I've been around you and your girlfriends, I've been around you doing different things, but why is it that we have these little pockets of places in which, you have information and things that are going on, but you're not readily expressing or giving me or relating that information to me? So therefore, the insecurity is always going to be created within the realms of non and miscommunication for me. So once we get to a point of me understanding myself, me in my grounding work, me grounded. Once I go to incorporate another being into that, there's no grounding work done for her, then we need to start with her grounding. But once we get to a point of understanding and sort of co-mingling within one another, the idea of not being able to have these conversations that are going to make me insecure, would make me insecure based on old past triggers, would probably be the thing that is going to be the nail in the coffin. You see, I need to have these conversations up front. I need to have these conversations first. I don't want to talk about this 6 weeks from now. I don't want to talk about this after I take you out. I don't want to talk about this after we decided we was going to move in together. No. I need to talk about this first. And the relationship that I have with spirit, the relationship that I have with my ancestors, and the relationship I have with my grounding work, starting with my grounding work, that is going to either impede or it's going to add to whatever it is going to add to some level of security that a woman would be able to provide. A woman can't provide me with security. Not saying that it's not possible. I'm saying that unless I am grounded within myself, a woman's acquisition or an acquisition of that woman with that woman, it's not going to supply my security. So my security comes from her willingness to be able to have the conversation. If she's not willing to have the conversation, then there's no security at all.
Was that a mic drop? Yeah, the thing that was floating around my head when you were talking, man, it took me some good years to realize that I was being insecure. Um, Me personally, like I said, I remember on some show we were talking, and I said after about the age of 12, I ain't never go after anybody that, you know, I didn't feel was like a dime in my world. You know what I mean? And sometimes some of my boys would be like, "Man, she out of your league," and I ain't never understood what they meant, because my thing was, who's out my league? Nobody's out of my league. I can talk to anybody I want to, right? And that was cool. And I became a lot of people's friends. Um, but as far as, getting into relationships, um, or situationships as Jeff calls them, that was a little bit rougher, because even though I thought I was coming with my A game, I wasn't. Um, and the insecurity part was then when I started learning, you know, I guess how to be, what to say, um, what to do, then I was still insecure because I wasn't coming from self. You know what I mean? I was like imitating guys around me. And the insecurity really, really popped its head up when I would be with these young ladies or women in various places where maybe there was a lot of other guys. And I felt that those guys, had more of the it than I did. And they wouldn't even have to be trying to holler at her. We could just be walking by a bunch of guys, and the insecurities would crop up inside of me, right? And like I said, it took me some years to realize that it wasn't them. It wasn't it wasn't that it wasn't the woman, and it wasn't the guys. It was me being insecure, worrying about whether or not, I could be smart enough or entertaining enough or going out enough to, be able to keep her happy and engaged.
Go ahead and say it. Sexy enough.
Sexy enough, right? Because, I ain't went out, man, shoot, I was scrawny. I ain't had no 6-pack. I had a 1-pack, but it wasn't a big pack, but it was still a 1-pack. And then, I didn't really start catching weight.
Universal?
Yeah, man, universal 1-pack. I ain't started getting my weight on until like after grad school. And now I got to kind of tone it back. But still, it was my insecurity. I realized it was my insecurity. And when I started learning that I was insecure, it was more like I was learning how to see inside of myself and not to just look at my external environment. So that's when I started realizing that, like you said, Serpent, a woman cannot make me feel secure in my relationship. I have to be secure before I even go into the relationship. And that's where I knew I was messing up. So then when I started trying to be secure before going into the relationship, I messed that up too. Because you got to pay some attention to the other person. It ain't got to be a whole, you don't want to be like following them around like a little puppy dog on their heels all day long. But if you're self-absorbed, then it ain't really a relationship, in my opinion. So that security comes from being balanced enough within yourself and within your energy and with how you do things, loving how you do things regardless of what people say, cultivating your energy to the point where you can be with another person and be able to focus on being happy spending time with that person, as opposed to being focused on, is this person happy spending time with me?
Mm-hmm.
Or am I being the best that I can for this person right now? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man, that journey out of insecurity for me was learning how to live in the moment and learning how to be happy within myself.
Indeed, for a lot of people, I don't never feel like they move outside of insecurity. They just benefit, so fuck it. To really be secure takes a lot of introspection and a lot of lack of mind games and a lack of manipulation, to which this is really the spiritual things, because another deep part that I noticed is that people who play manipulated mind games don't know that they playing them. They really think that they seeking security
Yes.
and really bringing value to another
Yeah.
person's life. So it's an interesting angle. Jeff, what you got on security?
That's an interesting conundrum.
It is. It is.
Yeah, I mean, just it was great points ahead of me for sure. I've been insecure in all my relationships, like to some degree at some point, especially prior to me like coming in a full understanding for sure. Relationships with the lady, like I've been insecure with my relationship with my parents because maybe I didn't have my stuff together like I should have, and I feel like they were putting pressure on me, and I didn't want to deal with that at the time. Even work, like you got a job and maybe you're not doing what you're supposed to do at the job. Like if you're not being true to what the purpose and the goal is supposed to be, then yeah, there's gonna be times where you're gonna feel insecure because like you're not on game all the way. And it's like that on game. I don't mean like trying to do stuff that just because, but like are you really doing the work you're supposed to do? Are you really following doing our soul work for real, and handling your business? And like if you're not doing that, then yeah, you're gonna be insecure. Like the prettiest girl is the most insecure. All that is just known as facts.
We can go deeper into that in saying that security is not a matter of looks or money or anything. What you had stated was if you're not doing your soul work, then you insecure. And that's the overall point to the question. Like if you don't come to this conclusion at some point, you're insecure. Meaning that at its crux, because I don't like to get too deep, it's like before death, after death, during life, you have this spiritual energy vibrating. So when you say secure, you're always that in life and death. You've seen the movie Soul. You're always your actual energy. So if you know that your energy, it's quite easier to be secure within your relationships, within yourself, within your development, what's going to happen tomorrow. Because it's not you that you're worried about. You're not worried about anything because there is quite simply nothing to worry about. But integrating the spiritual into our humanity is one of the first steps to chakra work. It's one of the first steps to developing this. It's very important to activate that root chakra so you can feel that sense of security, that sense of groundedness. Now, everybody has been in relationships, but not everybody has activated their root chakra. Not everybody has felt secure. And so when a person might ask, why should I buy Chakra Nova? What am I getting out of it? Well, you're getting experience that most human beings might never get, which is the opportunity to be secure within yourself.
And if I could add on just a little bit,
please.
Like, the security that even women speak about, it's a fallacy from the understanding that security can only come from within. So the idea you always hear women speak about in generalized terms, I need my man to make me feel safe. But then that same man will cheat. That same man will hold stuff from you, and you will hold stuff from that same man.
He'll make the whole community safe.
Yeah. So the idea of safety coming from a man or a woman is really a moment. Because if that woman doesn't have any grounding work done, if she doesn't do any grounding work, if she has no concept of her soul, then the safety that she is speaking of, that the man is supposedly supplying, is not right and exact. It doesn't exist. It's a fallacy. It's just words. Because the safety that she is going to feel within herself will never be more profound than the safety that she thinks she can get from her partner.
And let me double back on that. The safety that she feels within herself. The safety that he feels within himself. Let's meditate on that. Let's hold that space. Within myself, I feel safe. Because you can't transfer that to anybody as much as we want to.
Yeah.
You can only show your wife, I am safe within myself, babe. You need to learn how to be safe within yourself like I'm safe within myself, so we can be safe within ourselves together. This is a breakthrough for me personally and what I'm trying to teach within my relationship. And this is the way that I can love, by teaching my wife to love herself. But I digress. Go ahead.
You good?
1,000%.
I just want to add, in martial arts world, right? Let's just, it's the world, but right, not everybody out here in the streets is actually taking martial arts classes. In martial arts world, there's like a plethora of people that are in it just to learn how to kick somebody else's ass, or to so-called feel safe walking down the street at night. And in the pregame we were talking about this, right? And you've seen it in every decent martial art movie. The highest aim that a martial artist should attain to is not how well they can kick somebody's ass or with what weapon or what time of day. It should be to not have to fight, to not even have to use a weapon, and to be able to turn an enemy into a friend. The people that attain the higher ranks are not always those type of people, but there are some that do, right? So I'm saying this to say, you can in martial arts world think you have a sense of security because you can manipulate the physical environment, but there are some people that have learned to have that confidence within, not necessarily because they can crush a brick or break some boards, but they learned confidence to say, oh yeah, okay, I can do this, I can make this happen, I can move, and I can feel better about my movement and about myself, not necessarily taking it to the point of beating somebody else up, but just that self-confidence. So there's a thin line, physically speaking, that I think a lot of people miss. And now outside of martial arts world, I'm just going to call it what it is. Some people's self-confidence relies on being able to overshadow, beat up, or hurt other people. And that ain't it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's not confidence, that's not security. And one day that ends. So yeah.
Guns don't give people immortality or even stability, last time I checked. So
neither does a black belt.
Yeah, so we all have this thing called death that we all must face, to which we feel like a gun is going to be able to shoot down the Grim Reaper. But the last time I checked, the Grim Reaper is bulletproof. But let's move on to the sacral chakra and have a real conversation that I'm sure men have to deal with, but I'm sure they don't necessarily feel this in any type of way. But let's just deal with it how it comes, and whatever expression comes from this question, let it, flow out. But the question is rooted in the sacral chakra, and being in relationships with another individual, let alone your wife. You could need this from your daughter, you can need this from your sons, you can need this from your aunts and uncles, but an emotional awareness to sometimes you're emotionally in a particular space that you need to be balanced out. It doesn't make you toxic, it doesn't make you angry, it doesn't make you unlovable or none of these things. It just means that it doesn't mean you're triggered. Okay? It doesn't mean any of these particular things, because men have emotions the same way as women have emotions. We're just told that women are emotional and men are not. But in the space of the question, super untrue. Human beings have emotions that we need to work through, and that's all, every single one from baby to old man. But in the space of selfless giving and sacro chakra activation in the realms of relationships, and trust me, doesn't have to be a romantic relationship, it can be your
Yep.
homeboy.
Yep.
How do you cater to your partner's emotions, or do you just act like they don't have emotions and hit them with the logic, the rationale, and the point A to point B, and say, if you don't meet point A to point B, I'm done with you? But how do you cater to people's emotions? Do you recognize people's emotions outside of your own? Do you wish that your emotions was recognized more? In the realms of emotions, how do men view them? I'm curious to know.
Yeah. I mean, I think to your point earlier, like finishing the last question, for me, it's making sure that I represent myself in like my fullest form as best I can. Um, Not saying that that's what I've always done. I've definitely, us like people who are consider themselves like givers, lovers, like empaths in a certain way. We often, you know, look to help and support other folks. Oftentimes, way more than we do ourselves, because really we're like kind of we that's what we want. That's what we kind of desire in our own right. But like it comes to that point where you realize like, yeah, you do need to help and support others, but like you have to make sure that you're taking care of yourself first, because you're really not taking care of anybody if you're not taking care of self. Um, so yeah, like me, like these days, and kind of how I try to go about it is making sure that I just try to represent myself as truthfully and as honestly as I can in that moment. Not saying that I'm always doing that 100% on point, but just learning through each experience. And if the people who I'm doing that with respect that, then that's love, and we can continue to move forward through that. And if they can't, then yeah, you might just have to let some people go.
Yeah. I would say um, I spent a lot of my life not understanding that I was an empath, and one of my friends had to hit me to that, and that's when I started learning about it. So yeah, Jeff, you're right. I mean, you can spend a lot of your time trying to make sure other people's feelings are acknowledged or taken care of or on the forefront, um, and you don't always realize. Sometimes you might not be doing it on purpose. You're just doing it because, I'll say this as an empath: if you're around somebody and they're sad and it makes you feel sad, you might not know why you're feeling sad, but you know that if that person feels happier, then it's going to make you feel happier. So you might be trying to do stuff to make them feel happy. But the other thing that I've learned is that people in the world who are not very empathic have learned to spot empathic people, and they're the first ones that they run to when they need some validation for their feelings, right or wrong, or a co-producer of those feelings. And I like what David Goggins says: a pity party is a shitty party. People will see, oh, okay, you're bouncing to my emotions, you're responding to my emotions, so I'm gonna turn it up. And it's up to us as empaths, or people that are, or sensitive, highly sensitive people, I think is the buzzword people are using nowadays, right? It's up to us as highly sensitive people to know when we're being used as amplifiers for other people's feelings, and learn how to back off of doing that, and protect our own emotions and our own energy. So that's where I am. I went kind of overboard and started getting kind of mean with it. Like, I didn't want to hear about nobody's feelings. I was like, I don't care. You could be having, oh, you having a good day, cool. Oh, you having a bad day, cool. I just didn't care. But then that that didn't help me out in my relationships, because all it was doing was numbing myself. I was numbing my feelings and closing myself off from sincerely interacting with the people around me. So in having to really be a good listener and really interact with the people around me, I had to open up. But I also had to find the strength to say, I'm not going to be a part of your pity party. I ain't doing it, right? So I had to start drawing them lines. I started using my internal martial arts and saying, whoa, back off. So for me, catering to people's emotions has become me making sure that they understand that their emotions is theirs and not mine. I don't have to resonate with them, and I don't have to ring like they ring, but I'll be there for them. I'll support them in them trying to find a solution or a next step, but I'm not going to ring how they ring. It ain't happening. And my way of catering now is to make sure that people understand that their happiness is their responsibility and not mine. I could be with you all day long and we can enjoy, whatever, but I can't get inside your body and be happy for you.
But Prime, you're supposed to get my nails done and my hair done and take me shopping and take me all of these different places and pay my bills, and you're supposed to do kung fu and karate tricks for me so I can be happy. No, Prime, it's not my responsibility, it's yours.
Nope. Luckily enough, I found a person that knew that wasn't the case. Now we have a daughter, and I'm trying to convince my daughter that that's not the case.
Sounds scary.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I think what both of those brothers said already is, it fits, it works. I also, like Prime, and a extreme empath. A lot of the times, my triggers aren't even my own. A lot of the times, I get excited and emotional for other people. It's not even for myself. I literally walk into rooms and get exhausted sometimes when I'm not grounded or I'm not, doing my work. Like I walk in the room and get exhausted because I can feel everybody's emotions. I can feel their feelings, their intentions, so to speak. It's not fun when you don't know what you're doing. And I spent the majority of my life not understanding my emotions, not understanding the intricacies that came with, being an empath and being connected to people's spiritual attunement or lack thereof, so to speak. And so I say all of that to say, I'm probably on the other side of the fence with this, because I have no problem with catering to my partner. I have no problem with giving my partner everything that they exactly want if I'm in the position to do so. Because guess what? On the flip side, I want the same thing, right? Like, you want somebody to love your crazy. You want somebody to love your mannerisms.
You say it sexy.
Yeah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, seduction. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want somebody to love it, but you also, for some reason, use this logical reasoning type thing when it comes to giving your partner what your partner wants. Now, we spoke about safety in this question. Well, in a lot of the ways a woman relates her safety is what her partner is willing to give her, what her partner is willing to do for her, so forth and so on. So if I want my partner to mimic and to reciprocate the energy that I am willing to give her, I'm not going to limit her based on the things that she needs me to cater to. That might just be her love language. That might just be her way of understanding love, or understanding her love. So I guess to take this out of the realms of being a man, right? Because I'm a man down here, but I'm also completely tied into my divine femininity as well. Like, I embrace that shit, right? I'm not afraid of that shit. I don't mind being sensitive. I have 3 children. Okay, I can't be a masculine behemoth with all 3 of my children at all freaking times. Like, it's not conducive to anything. So I say that catering to my partner should be something, or rather, it's something that I am wholeheartedly willing to do, as long as it doesn't require me giving up more than necessary. Because it's not about being equal, it's just about reciprocation. I don't need her to equally give me the things that I give her, because that's just not possible. She's a woman. She can't equally give me what I am giving her, and vice versa. It's just not possible. But I can put that effort in, and the attention in, and the insight in, to give her the want to express herself. See, I think what's missed in all of this is that me catering to her might make her blossom. So if the difference between her opening up for me and her opening up for another person is going to be what I'm willing to do versus that person, what that person is willing to do. If I care about this person like I say I do, I'm not going to let it get to the next person. If I care about this individual like I claim that I do, then I'm not going to allow it to even enter a stratosphere of another individual entering into this thing we are calling our thing, right? Our relationship. So I say that to say that catering to your partner doesn't make you less of or less than. It can't be. It's just a requirement that is going to come down to within a relationship if both individuals are going to play their part. And if they're going to play their part together, you're going to do some crazy shit for her, she going to do some crazy shit for you. That's the end of it.
I want to ask something for you to add to that, Serpent, because it sounds like you coming from the point of view of like actions or providing like physical things, but emotionally, how does one even care for, right? You see where I'm going.
Yeah. So emotionally tied in, some people, your partner may have a predilection to not wanting to hear certain words. She may not like certain instances in which the way that you react with other people. She may not like the way that you react around your family with her. Like, all of these things coincide emotionally. If I have it to give emotionally, then she can have it. Simple as that. If I don't have it to give, then it's my responsibility for me to express that to her. And if I don't express that to her, and I don't, exercise my responsibility in expressing that to her, then I'm not doing my due diligence. I'm not playing my part. So as far as it comes with the emotional part, right? Because all of that's action, all of it's action, whether it's tangible or non-tangible, all of it's action, right? As far as that is concerned, if I have it to give, why not?
I think the main key is if the relationship is going to last forever or if the relationship is going to end. Because if the shit is going to end and you already know it's going to end, you're going to act accordingly. If the thing is going to be forever, you begin to encapsulate yourself into the oneness of the relationship. So is that relationship equating to one, or is it equating to two individuals fucking on the low from time to time, and then you get your subsequent action emotional balance? But Mama Mystic,
peace, Mama Mystic.
How do you cater to your partner's emotions in the space of 4 rambunctious little kids who make up songs and things of that nature?
Hi, Mama Mystic.
Peace, Rob. Peace. I would say understanding that your partner has feelings, and then also emotional accountability. I feel that a lot of us women don't maybe speaking probably for myself, don't hold ourselves accountable emotionally. So it's like the random outbursts or the attitudes, a lot of times that's unnecessary. Because if you actually dig deep to down to where, be careful please, down to where we are like, okay, why am I so emotional? What's the actual trigger? What's the deeper root and cause? And then let's have a conversation behind it. We don't want to talk behind it. We want to say, oh, I'm fine, nothing's wrong. So in actuality, something is wrong. But when catering to partners' emotions, it's just really understanding that they also have feelings and they have emotions and that they're able to exercise those in that relationship.
Yeah, thank you. Because I know there were times when I would get the silent treatment. Oh God, I just, I did something or said something, and then they'd be like, I'm like, well, let's talk about it. How, why you feel that way? and
yeah, because I've been there, and it's like thinking back and doing chakra work and shadow work. It's like all that was needed was a conversation, and in that conversation, it's needing me to understand that Hood has feelings, he has emotions, he has needs and wants that I might not be making, and that is okay. And the conversation needs to be had so that I can adhere to those needs, and vice versa.
That's dope. Thank you, Mama.
Look at a keeper.
Get out. Goddamn.
But no, it took a lot of work.
It's not
a lot of work.
It's not
tough conversation.
Yeah, because it's not a thing of like this isn't known in relationships, nor should you make it a point of contention between you and your wife for her being emotional. Because that's like saying, why are you standing up and walking down the street if you a dude? Like, that feeling where you just gotta get out the house and take a walk? Now, what if you just got out the house, took a walk, and motherfucker just came and you're like, yo, bro, why you walking down the street? That's the same way as us checking our girl for her emotions. Now, the reality, all I could do is be like, hey, you can talk to me without the fear of me abandoning you, because ultimately that's the reality to anger, right? I want to say something, but I'm afraid of how you would react. Are you going to leave me? So it's not the bad guys that have the issue in relationships, it's the good guys, because ultimately if a woman knows she got a good guy, she going to temper her responses and things of that nature, when in fact she shouldn't. She should keep it as buck or as real, as authentic as anybody, because ultimately one would say, I'm not going to leave you, but another side of that is, if I need to leave, then I should leave yesterday. We shouldn't keep this thing going, right? So say what's on your chest, say what's on your heart, you know what I'm saying? The conversations that me and my wife have are graphic. She'd be telling you like, Kyrie, why would you even say that? I'm not even thinking about no threesome with those 2 porn stars. Like, why is you there? Why is you taking it there? Like, I'm not thinking about this, but I'm just like, I'm just showing you that you could talk to me about anything and I'm not going to abandon you. Even if you want to have sex, we were just talking about this. If you want to have sex with another guy, this is how I would respond. Just in case you was wondering, so you can have that space. Like, not to say that I want that, but I think men is unrealistic with what we would imagine a woman would want. Right. Like, we think we can step. Yeah, it does. It absolutely goes both ways. But men trying to force the issue a lot of times. But women, they be real quiet about it. You know what I'm saying? And just like, I ain't gonna say nothing to this sort of, but have different emotions. But let's go. That was a wonderful sacral chakra, meditation. And ultimately, that's a question for the audience, because at the same time, we dealing with it, we processing it. But the people that's in the audience, I'm sure these kind of questions ain't really crossing their minds. How do I cater to my partner's emotions? Like, that's a very powerful sacral chakra energy, because 10 times out of 10 you just imagining that they don't even have emotions and they should just need to walk outside and walk down the street, make money. So a woman to say, I just need you to make money and have a big dick. Well, what if my feelings is hurt today? Well, your dick can fix it. You can buy some more feelings, right? I guess niggas will be out here trying to buy some feelings and shit like that, you know. So it's real crazy out here with the
feelings. I have feelings.
It's crazy out here. So this next question, in reference to the solar plexus chakra, in the direction of your life, the energy that you put out, do you block your partner's will in life, or do you assist them? And what is the balances? You know, like, do you project? What do you project on your partner as far as where they gonna be at life? Do you want them just folding clothes and washing dishes? Do you hit them with that energy, or do you empower their success? Do you empower their individuality? You know, how do you assist your partner's solar plexus chakra? And if you don't,
I'm gonna go first because I'm gonna go first because I'm the only one without a partner here.
Now I'm just your partner to yourself. If you don't got a partner, if you don't got a partner, then you gotta tap into that.
Thank you for cutting that in because I was gonna speak to that. That's what I was gonna speak to. Yeah. I believe the entirety of it all starts with not questioning whatever desires may come up without trying to understand exactly why those desires exist. And so when you talk about will, well, that's intestinal fortitude. That's inside. You know, that's not tangible. You know, that's not something we can put up on a blackboard and talk about. Like that's closer to intuition. And so I basically know that in order for me to continue to expand, to expound on the being that I am and where I want to go, the idea is not to shortcut myself or to limit myself based on programmed pathological ideologies or whatever it is that I was taught growing up, because none of that shit even matters, right? So I believe and I know that embracing those parts about you, shadow work, that you think, you know, you're not supposed to have, you're not supposed to be, you're not supposed to do, you know, that thing is directly connected to your will and whichever will you want to pick on, you know? So as long as I'm not limiting myself, as long as I'm not preventing myself from expanding and exploring, you know, I truly feel like embracing all that I am yet to understand is where all of the new nuggets lie, so to speak. So I say all that to say that I think that embracing a person's desires and whatever will comes up, whatever ideas that they may have, whatever it is that may be sitting, you know, somewhere deep within their being, you know, the idea is to let them know that it's okay that it exists. Mm-hmm. And the idea is to let them know that they don't need to be and shouldn't be judged because of it. And because you're their partner, the last person that should be judged for is you. I'll just leave that.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing, bro. I'm thinking about that as you say that, right? Say, for instance, you get married to a person. You walk down the aisle with that person. You got like 2 or 3 kids with this person, and they propose something to you, such as a threesome, such as a menage a trois, such as, you know, joining a swingers club or something like that. You low-key gotta actually do that. Like, I would never see, like, you be like, well, I'm about to get a divorce from your ass. Because, like, you already done did. Like, you committed to this person. So it's like, why wouldn't you honor the shit that they want to do for them, like, why is that like a point of contention? Now, it could be a point that you got married, had kids, and did all of this, and not really even fuck with that person like that. That's the shit that really blows me. Because once they hit you with the real, that don't go into their vision, now it's like, fuck you.
I think that shit is tied to insecurities for a lot of people. Because I know for me, like, the way you say it, right? Have that conversation with your significant other, and they say some shit that you was determined as being far out. You would say, well, you know, that's not right and exact. That,
right.
You can't be just sleeping with people randomly. Like, you can't just start an OnlyFans and just shake your ass and nut on camera. Like, you just can't. You can't just want to do that and be my woman.
And be my wife. No, like, you got to, we got to break up.
What happens if your significant other is a divine whore, right?
What if that's her archetype?
Wow.
What if you've been tearing her off the frame? Now you done woke up her horniness.
I'm trying to make her friend from Delaware, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not gonna work. It's just not gonna work. People do not fit into your personal idea of a paradigm of what people are supposed to do.
Facts.
They don't. They just don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, just to that last point, like, it isn't for you to say what somebody is or supposed to be. You have to let people do what they do. But it's kind of on you. Like, if to his point, if you rock with somebody and you know, like, they doing it for the right reasons because that's who they are, then it's like, I don't understand how you hold back. Now it's everything is continued work. Everything is continued, like, pushing. And like, it's never like a point. Like, I don't know if there is ever a point where you're just comfortable. Like, this is it. It's like, you always got to move forward, like, to keep it going. Always got to move forward to keep it going.
Indeed. Powerful.
Yeah, man. I got to a point where it's not a question for me, right? Like, if I'm gonna be with somebody, whether it's my marriage, business, you know, friendship, whatever, right? For me now, it's become, how much am I willing to assist them in their life's venture? If their life's venture is going out and getting stoned on crack every day, then I've decided I'm not going to help them do that. Right? If their life's venture is to go, you know, get some sex every day, I might not be helping with that either. Right? But, you know, if they got dreams like, oh, I want to write a book, I want to start a business like that, right? Then it becomes, for me, a matter of how much am I willing to invest to make sure that this person I call my partner or myself, right? How much am I willing to invest my time and energy towards this endeavor? And when I started looking at it like that, I was able to manage my energy better in my life. But then I also learned that there are a lot of people walking around that don't really understand what the hell they want. So I've started asking people, like, where do you see yourself? You know, I know it's cliche-ish, but where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Not even where or doing what. How do you want to feel 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now? Like, if you don't know how you want to feel 20 years from now, then you got some thinking to do. Do you want to feel energetic? Do you want to feel empowered? Do you want to feel happy, right? All of those things that you like, that you've liked every day of your life, should project into your future. And then in order to determine your will, so to speak, or what goes around those things, you know, is a matter of them flushing out the details. But if you don't feel your way to that first, then you just kind of like a floundering fish. So I'll assist anybody that I'm with, but my number one assistance is making sure that they understand what is their will, because I'm not going to be following no will o' the wisp, what they call it, right? I'm not doing that. Yeah, I know, Sacred, you laugh at school. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, if out man, if you got a plan and you feeling it in your heart and you talking about it and you like glowing while you talking about it, you're like, yo, I got this great idea, such and such. I'm like, all right, I'm there with you, right? But if you ain't sure, don't even ask for my help. Don't even look my way if you ain't sure. Because if you ain't sure, you got to go work on that. I'm willing to assist if you sure. And by the same token, if I ain't sure, I'm not going to ask anybody to assist me. I'm going to be like, yo, I got to hash some things out before I ask for your help, because we'll just end up going in crazy circles. Let me figure out my plan. Let me figure out my feelings, and then we'll hook back up. So
I think the major part for me is that you can't help nobody more than that they willing to help themselves. And sometimes as helpers, we want to help them more than they want to help themselves. And it's just like, my fucking empathic, bleeding, heart on my shoulder, want to love you more than you love yourself energy is not serving nobody. So what has empowered me over this past month is, I love y'all, but fuck y'all. Like, y'all gonna have to figure it out. And because, my enabling...
In a nice way.
My enabling and my assistance is not even having the desired effect. You know what I'm saying? It's actually being counterproductive towards the overall goal. So once a person, whether it be my son or anybody, feel like I'm not going to be teaching him beats and he want to watch cartoons, you know what I'm saying? Right. It's just wasting energy. Right. So I want to teach you how to make beats. But if you don't want to focus on it, I'm not even going to hit it. I'm only at level 3 Joe Jackson mode. Level 10 is where you get the actual belt. So I'm trying to work my way up there.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. Like my daughter, man, she likes chess a lot. And for the longest time, I haven't played with her because she wasn't really into it. But last night, she wanted to play a game. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to play. Because she had her little friend over who's been taking classes. And it's amazing how much she just picked up from her. Last night, we had a great chess game. Now, she lost. And I explained to her that if she loses, she learns, right? You should learn why you lost, what are the pieces. But I told her she played magnificently. She pulled some moves out. I'm like, you must have been studying what your friend was doing, huh? Mm-hmm. She got this little book she reading. So as she gets more serious about it, I'm gonna be there for her, to help teach as best I can. But I realized that I had to back off because my love of chess can't be her love of chess. And I had to wait for her to come back to me and say, okay, I want to play this now. I'm ready now. Timing.
Indeed. Babe, you still there? Oh, I'm muted.
You on mute, Hood.
Babe, you still there? Or are you with the kids or something? Are you there?
I am.
What's your thoughts on the question? Or are you busy?
Just learning from our experience and the conversations we have. If I can't pour into myself and I can't love myself and do for myself, there's no way you can help or anyone else can help me. Mm-hmm. It's like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it. That's kind of what comes to mind.
The wise woman has spoken. I told her, this is kind of personal, but my wife is a genius. Like, all of my smarts come from her yoni, but I digress. That's a whole nother conversation, so we'll just save it for the time being. But yes, you don't need a lot of words to drop the wisdom. So You know, you can't help
But no, I
nobody
mean,
more than they want to be helped. You know what I'm saying? You
yeah,
can't
it's
love
kind of
nobody
just real
more than they
simple.
want to be loved. Like, and it might
Mhm.
sound like you can do it, but it just don't never work out that way. Like, so might as well get to it. You know. But that leads us to our next question, and I'm gonna ask you, babe, while you here.
Okay.
Can you love someone too much? Like, can you feel like, damn, I'm just loving this dude way too much? If so, when do you know you loving that person too much? And this is tied into the heart chakra, where it's this unconditional love energy. But with most people, they say, I'm gonna love you up to a certain point. Like, I'm gonna love you up until I gotta toss your salad, and then I'm gonna just stop there. You know what I'm saying? But me, I try to go past the salad tossing and, different arrangements and things of that nature. But it's not about me. Can you love someone too much? If so, when
Salad
is too
tossing is a
much?
delicacy. Salad
I think you
tossing is a
can.
delicacy.
Some people are clean. Some people are clean.
Oh, goodness
I'm sorry. I'm
gracious.
sorry. I'm sorry.
I think that you can love a projection of somebody, but I think if you love a person unconditionally, then you love yourself unconditionally. So there's no such thing as too much. But if a person feels that they're loving somebody too much, then they're loving the projection that they're putting on that person. Like it's not, they're living what they expect from that person, not what that person, who that person actually is.
Which would show up differently every day. Sometimes you happy, sometimes you mad. But if I only love the happy version of you, the mad version of you is going to be a problem. We're going to need to break
Mhm.
up. But if I love the completeness of your essence and energy, however you show up, it's not even going to affect me or matter to me because I love you, not my projection of who I want Chauncey or Mama Mystic to be. I just don't give a fuck about that. So when we be having conversations, it'd be like, I didn't know you felt that way because I wasn't even tripping on nothing that you done because I'm just more into the love part. But in this actual intricacies, it's like, I think, do you feel like you love somebody too much, or do you feel like you just love yourself and everything else takes care of itself?
I think I think maybe I like in previous times I displayed my lack of love for self as like overcompensating for trying to show love for other folk. For
That's
sure.
it. That's it right there, Jeff. That's it right there, Jeff. That's it. Say that one more time, because people gonna forget. And we talked about a whole bunch of shit, but that could be the clip right there. What you just said, bro.
Yeah. It's like when in moments where I wasn't showing true and like my full love to self, I in that insecurity, in that lack of love for self, I overcompensated and tried to show love for others that probably wasn't deserving or maybe not deserving, but like it just wasn't necessary.
You said it,
was
right. You said it
it was
right.
overcompensation.
You said it right.
It was overcompensation. It was all overcompensation because I wasn't showing myself the respect that I deserve. For whatever reasons, maybe because I wasn't taught it. And right now I'm not speaking for me right now, but it's like whether anybody's like whether you weren't taught it, whether you went through something traumatic and you feel like you lost it. All of us had it at some point, and then we lost it. Like that's the whole point of why we here. Like we like Hood says, this information ain't his, it ain't us. It's like this is all of our information. Why? Because we all knew this information and we all had it, but we lost it. So like yeah, we lost our love for self, and then in the moments we overcompensated trying to express that externally when we should have been cultivating that internally for sure.
Tapped in.
Yeah, that's like the conversation or the story about the fall of man. Like your core essence, two things exist, you know, truth and love. Those things can't be undenied, they can't be quantified, they can't be put in a book. But to fall from who you truly are to what we are now is not, it's not, it's not.
It's a matter of quantification and a matter of
Yeah,
intelligence.
yeah, pretty much. So when you say love someone too much, see, I'm one of those people who doesn't believe that that's possible. I believe that it gets to a point of loving a person, and then it goes the opposite way. Obsession, all of the things that you want and you love, or you claim that you love about that person, are not the things that you're actually honing in on. It's just the idea that you're honing in on. So when you say love someone too much, could you possibly love yourself too much? Because love as itself is irrational. It's an irrational thing. There's no quantification for it. So again, grounding in root and honesty, truth, and then being able to express your truth without the fear of retribution or whatever else. Loving, see, I don't see that as a thing that's possible. I just see it as, like Jeff said, I've lacked love for myself and overcompensated and loved other people, and it showed up on the back end. That person would take advantage and continue to take advantage and continue to take advantage. And you wouldn't think nothing of it because you call it love, when it's really just blind faith or something like that, you know? So the idea of loving
just being a crash dummy, we gonna call it how it is.
Yeah. Sucker for love ass nigga.
Sucker for love, build ass little boy.
Yeah. So I think understanding the love that you have for yourself and the love that you are, that you represent for yourself, totally nullifies the idea of loving someone too much. Because you would never get to a point of being able to judge it. Like, what do you have, a scale?
Hey man, if you're just trying to tell people the secrets of activating the heart chakra, just go ahead. Why don't you? You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to give people the kind of lead in, play into the actual.
I digress.
Just go give them everything. God dang.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add to that. Love, if it is truly ideally what we all think of as love, has to originate from realizing that you are one with the universe. Anything other than that is something you're doing to please yourself or others. It's not a pure feeling from within. Like, love doesn't need an action. Love doesn't need words. Love doesn't need you to be in a particular place. It doesn't need a particular time. There's no conditions. It in and of itself is unconditional. So I agree with Serpent. Like, if it's really love and you starting from a place of loving yourself, then you can't love somebody too much. I think if it becomes detrimental to your health, your mental health, or your physical well-being, that's not love. I told my daughter a couple of nights ago, we were talking about something she did, and I was like, girl, I ought to beat your little tail. But I told her, I said, I'm not going to do that, because my wife is very adamant that I don't, because that's how I was raised. I got plenty of whippings. But I told her, I said, be thankful for your mama, and I love you, so I'm not going to do this to you, but I want you to understand that no matter who you're with in life, nobody should be putting their hands on you without your permission. And I'm only able to say that because my wife made sure that, I didn't get in the habit of beating her, because she's a lot like me, and man, I'd have been beating her ass alive. But anyway, um, I was able to tell her that's not love, right? Like, yeah, but I did tell her I will correct her. I'll take a knuckle and hit her on the head if she's doing something funky or wrong. She knows this. I'll twist the ear. I will do certain things, but some things are not love. Um, Abusive relationships, whether it's physical, emotional, or mental, um, that's not love. So that's too much because it's not love. But you can never love if it's real. Love from knowing you're one with the universe unconditionally, and so is everybody else. That can't be too much. Yeah. Anyway.
It's a very powerful thing to love yourself and to give energy away and know that you are the source of the love that you give. It's one thing to say, I need love on the back end because after I gave you this love, I'm going to be 20 short. And I get paid on Friday. So, what's up? That love that I gave you on Monday, fam, what's up, fam? I need that back. I need that. I'm going out on a date this Saturday with Tatalicious and you got all my love. So, but when we understand that we are the source to the vibrations, to the energies that we give off, and that's kind of the message that within these questions I'm trying to undermine or bring about some rhetoricalness within these brothers to self-reflect on their chakra journey, but at the same time to the people who are on the outside. When we presented these questions, I'm sure you had regular, mundane, humanistic answers. But within these questions, we're answering them from the space of activated chakras. Can you love someone too much? No, you can only love yourself infinitely and understand yourself infinitely. You have 24 hours to get to know yourself. Now, if you up under some Tatalicious booty hole, tossing salad and things of that nature, you missing out on the beauty of knowing yourself and getting one with yourself, unless part of your gnosis is Tatalicious. For me, part of my gnosis was Tatalicious, but this was a 4-parter question in relation to the root, sacral, solar, and heart chakra. So when you answer these questions on the replay, or you've been watching this and you've been answering these questions in your mind, your reservations and the hard questions for you is in relation to the chakra that you need to actually work on and tap into, because that thing might be in a space of unactivation or unawareness or unrecognized to the fact that you loving your partner halfway. You ain't loving your partner to the fullest extent because you ain't loving yourself to the fullest extent. And these are the barriers and the breakthroughs that we are hoping to bring forth and be that exemplary energy and speak to this energy, as opposed to just saying, hey, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book. Hey, buy my book. But no, talk about the overall reflections and the reverberations of this chakra work. And I'm here for it. I love everything about this build and everything that everybody shared. Shout out to Mama Mystic for joining us. Yeah, shout out to the Little Mystics for joining us with their loud ass. But yes, close this. I need all of the guests on the show to close this out. Give us your IG. Support your business. Support, in any ways that we can monetize y'all, whether through Cash Apps or PayPal's, or I know y'all got services and products and things of that nature. Let us have it.
I'll go first. My man Wu had to go. He ain't here no more.
Peace, Wu.
Attend to his woman, as we all need to at times. But yeah, like I said initially, Jeff again here. I'm located in DC, but I am Mr. Pull Up on You as well. But yeah, just a source of many things. I connect people who need to be connected and make sure things happen. in DC. I am an owner of a cannabis delivery service. That's the main portion of my business, but we also do sell apparel, merch, and we dabble in other things. All legal activities. Nothing shady over here. Please be clear. No hot boys, hot girls needed. Cold summer, we good. But yeah, check me out. Elijah Green 144 is the business Instagram. Jeff.Elijah 144 is the personal page. You can see me marketing all my stuff on both. I got these caps. Reach out if y'all really support black businesses. Please support my manhood. Please support everything else everybody's got going on. But look out for your boy too. Yeah, that's all. Thanks again for the space.
For the kids as well. Mama Mystic, or Mama_Mystic 911 on Instagram. ColombianExchange.com is the website. Get your womb stings. They will change your life. DM me and I will create you a womb sting that will change your life. It will change your partner's life. And yeah.
People might ask me, Kyrie, why are you so happy all the time? You always in a great mood. Well, I'll be getting some of the greatest yoni of all time, and trust me, I've been here, there, everywhere in search of
a yoni commercial.
The yoni. But trust me, Colombian Exchange is where you get your womb stings from to get a guy like me. I digress. Woo, 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 woo,
They definitely will change your lifestyle.
Yes, it changed our lives. It literally changed our lives. Like, no cap. I'm joking about it. It's funny, but seriously, the fact that I eat steamed veggies, it goes to the brain. Okay? My veggies are steamed. Please believe. ColombianExchange.com if you want to eat some steamed veggies like your boy. Because I be tuned in, tapped in to different frequencies. What'd you say, babe?
I'll say, don't be afraid to get your girl a womb steam.
Don't be afraid to get her a womb steam and sit her on that gang on pot. And you understand what I'm saying?
That might be the best present you can get. Yes. My God. That's my God. Oh my God. All right, Sacred Serpent 823 on IG, Sacred Serpent Media. Yes, we are coming back. We just got started and it's gonna be fantastic because I'm really excited. I'm working really hard on this thing. So Serpent's Lair 2 is almost done. As soon as I get the okay from Big Bro. Outside of that, marketing firm. Yes, we will start something extremely beautiful, but I'm not going to talk about it no more because I'm already letting too much cats out the bag. So consultations are still up. You can DM me for consultations. You can DM me for pretty much anything to do with logo design and business design. And yeah, Serpent's Lair is almost done. Serpent's Lair 2 is almost done. Outside of that, shadow work heavy, and more shadow work heavy. So I appreciate the space, I appreciate the time, I appreciate the folk, and yeah, let's get it.
I am on Instagram at prime.harmonic. The same for Gmail, prime.harmonic. I'm not running a solidified business as of yet, but if you need some assistance in your meditations or breathing techniques, feel free to reach out to me. If it becomes habitual, then I might ask for a fee, because time is of the essence. But yeah, so but in the meantime, just do reach out, because this chakra work, and thank you Hood Mystic, Mama Mystic, for the platform. Thanks Jeff and Serpent, for doing the work and then coming back and reporting on it, right? Because I know I've had my experience and Hood has had his experiences, but for us all to go through this and like Calvin and Sabine and other people um, that have gone through and then come back and report it what they're doing. It makes it more tangible for other people. So talk to us while you can talk to us, because I'm gonna tell you,
Oprah is online too. I'm telling you, I'm about to get off this live with y'all and talk to Oprah. Yeah. And once we get on the own network, we replace the Nayana Vanzai. It's gonna be hard for her to talk to us. Like,
not me. Sacred Serpent is going to Follies tonight because Hood cannot make it, so I'm going to strip the Follies tonight.
But yeah,
Tatalicious.
I know she's calling us. But yeah,
I'm going to Howard University after this. Sorry.
Y'all better quit, because y'all for real manifested a Tatalicious from what I heard. So
I ain't quitting shit.
I'm a conjure Tatalicious. She gonna be on this platform like, hey guys.
I said Tatalicious in the mirror 117 times. I already know she hit.
17.
He does mantras.
But yes, as Torin has reminded us, the shadow work class on 26th of June, I intend to be there because that is a heavy part of this chakra work. If you can't get your emotions right, if you can't get your introspection, I'm gonna say it in a nutshell. We spend a lot of our time growing up looking outside. Mm-hmm. And we're not really taking care of the garden within. In that garden within, a lot of people have been planting things in addition to us planting things we know not of, right? And this shadow work course is about you looking inside and how to get into those dark places that we've ignored, how to actually use them, and how to bring them forward in a positive manner in your life. So yeah. Excuse me for doing your job, Hood. But,
No, it's a beautiful thing, because for me, everything that I've ever done was not because it's for me. It's been everybody's stuff. So even though people don't have platforms and stuff like that, and regular people pick up my stuff and run with it, also the people at large platforms say it's for everybody, so I'm gonna take this information and switch it to my larger platform, and fuck you, Hood. Yeah. So it's all good. You get it both ways. You get it. The knife has, the sword has two sharp edges. You understand what I'm saying? And it cut on both sides. So,
as Jamaicans say, the same knife that stick the sheep are gonna stick the goat.
Yeah. So yeah, it's the same thing. So I'm just here for the collective as a whole, and just happy that people still rock with me and get it from, I wouldn't say from the source, but more or less from a primal, original point of view. And as people know, I've talked about the same shit over and over. I'm not going to go outside of astrology. I'm not going to go outside of chakras, and I'm not going to go outside of shadow unless I go outside of those things by the way of chakra, shadow, and astrology. So this is just a continuation of coursework and study that I'm making it count now, and making it available to everybody in a space where I don't want you to think of the shadow as a negative thing any longer. I want you to look at your shadow as a positive, powerful force in your life that you can begin to integrate and deal with, instead of putting it on everybody else in your life. Yeah. I'm tired of people shadow projecting on me to the fact that they project their greatness on me. I'm not even great. I just changed a diaper a couple of hours ago. I got probably shit under my nails. You understand what I'm saying? So don't imagine me to be great. That's your greatness.
Let me see you smell your fingernail.
No. So yes, this has been a wonderful episode. Very in tuned and tapped into everything that we stand for in reference to Chakra Nova, in reference to shadow work, in reference to everything that we're building. And get Oprah online too. I'm about to take this call, and hopefully everybody else have a wonderful evening. Y'all give y'all shots out and pieces out, and we'll go ahead and end this broadcast.
Shout out to everybody. Peace and love to everybody. Thanks for the space.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Peace.
Peace and love.